A very warm welcome to you. I'm excited to be with you this week on the program. This is where you get exclusive interviews and details of major events in the insurance industry. My name is Margaret Mary Osibor. You're welcome. On the lineup this week, we join Faith and her guest, Mr. Shola Tinubu, the President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, NCRIB, in a one-on-one exclusive interview where he gave accounts of his 365-day stewardship as president of the council. He also spoke on a wide range of issues concerning the insurance industry. It's explosive, so do take a listen.
Competitors, supposed competitors, come together and start signing a document saying that we are going to, everybody, one of us is going to charge nothing less than this. You could go to jail in other parts of the world.
We will also bring you on the lineup highlights of the LCCI Agriculture and Agro-Allied Group 2018 Agriculture and Agro-Allied Group Symposium, which took place recently at the LCCI Conference and Exhibition Center in Alausa, Ikeja. The theme was Bridging the Funding Gap and De-risking Agricultural Finance. As expected, a lot of challenges facing the agricultural and agro-allied sector were brought to the fore. Do take a listen.
I would want to state that if agriculture is fixed, our economy will be fixed. And that is the truth of the matter.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on this program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
The 2018 Almond Insurance Consumers Forum is finally here. The biggest and largest platform for insurance consumers to vent about customer service.
We are impatient. That is our culture. We don't have time for too much training. Tell us what you want to do, and we'll do it. So, speaking English even make it easier.
But the insurance have to do a lot more aggressive marketing. If you get into My Two or go to Select, you see banks, all their workers are there. They are collecting the bank savings even as a susu. So that it will be easier. It agrees with what my brother was saying. They are bringing it closer to home.
Team relieving customers' pain points in insurance through exceptional service delivery. Date Friday, November 16th, 2018 from 9:30 a.m. Venue Kano Hall, Necker House, Hakim Balogun Street, Central Business District, Alausa, Ikeja. Chairman Dr. Justus Clinton Uranta, former GMD Niger Insurance PLC. Guest speaker Chief Chris Wadiegu Obi, MD Blue Pearl Consult Limited. Discussant Mr. Tule Oshadia, MD Guinea Insurance PLC. For inquiries, please call 080-333-57879, 0812-362-4081 or visit www.almondfinancereport.com. Admission is free. Almond Insurance Consumers Forum, where the insuring public have their say. This event is supported by
A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us on Almond Finance and Wealth Report. Today I'm sitting down in a one-on-one exclusive interview, which I must say it's been in a long time coming, with Mr. Shola Tinubu, who is the President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers. Recently, he completed 1 year in office, and today we are looking at his scorecard, plus, of course, other interesting issues as relate to the insurance industry in general. Thank you so very much, Mr. President, for joining us.
You're welcome.
On the scene.
Glad to be here.
So let me start by asking you, what is your self-assessment of as the president of the NCRIB in the last 1 year?
Okay, well, essentially in leadership roles, it's only posterity that judges the actions of a leader. And that will never ever be left to you as that leader, no matter your opinions. But however, if I may just try to look at some of the things that we started out saying that we were going to do. The main focus of it, and really I told everyone I was going to have very few focused points that we're going to drive. And then I went on to list like 8, and everybody was wondering what 8. But then I then brought everything together in just one singular focus point and thrust of office, which is the empowerment of the NCRIB as a secretariat, through which nearly every other thing flowed. Because what we had found out in the past was that we had management and presidents that came in on 2-year cycles, and the secretariat itself was what always remained. So if you actually empowered what always is there, what is the constant, then essentially you will get a better outcome. I think this we have is one of our focuses, our main focus, and I think reasonably is something that we have achieved.
Okay, you are also the originator, so to speak, of the strategic plan for the NCRIB. I've heard you talk about it at your regular press briefing with members of the press.
Yes.
But I just want to know, what is this plan and how is it going to change the fortunes of the council?
I think with everything we do, individually, corporate, even in private sector and in government, everything must work within a framework of a plan. And sometimes you call it strategy, sometimes you call it that these are my to-do things for the next 10 years, etc. But the whole point is that it must be within a framework. Even as a family person, you're thinking about your kids, you're thinking long-term, soon they'll go to school, soon they'll leave school, soon they will go to university, so they get married. And within all of that, you begin to live your life. And I think it is very important that whatever we do, there has to be that framework. Since none of us have godly powers, predicting the absolute future is nothing that we can do with absolute certainty, but we must work within a framework. So what we were trying to do is actually put together a 10-year framework that we can work towards, and that presidents that come in and out of office every 2-year cycle and their team will be able to plug and play. Now, the difficulty is having to do a 10-year plan when you are a maximum of a 2-year presidency. That's the difficulty. But then you then work towards it. Once you have a target, you work towards it. So it's the working towards it started when I put together my strategic committee that actually came about identifying my thrust of office. That committee that we put together, we ensured in the selection of the committee that the coming presidents were also there and represented. So I have a maximum of 2 years. My deputy is going to come in, inshallah, and then become the next president for another 2 years. And my vice will then come in after that and become the next president after that for 2 years. That is the contingency plan and the continuity and succession plan that we have at the NCRIB. Now, if the 3 of us for a 6-year period sit down to put a plan, then we have formed a very strong basis for that plan. And then the other members were also members of the board from where the pool of presidents that will come after are also selected. And we made sure that we put them in there. But that was just the first step. The next step is to ensure that there is consensus on what you built in the plan. And that's the difficulty. Because when you bring something else that 2 of you think is very important, you may have to drop it because the rest don't. Because if you don't get consensus, you don't get implementation over that period. So there will now be a sacrifice that a current president has to make in his own tenure because he's thinking about the implementation and sustainability for the tenures afterwards. And those are the things that had to be put in place. Now, over the 2-year period that I am now here, the essence is to be able to have that plan, that the plan also works for us inside the NCRIB, but also works for us with our outside community. Our immediate outside community are members of the other subsectors, which are the NIA, NICOM, very important, the regulator, the CIN, and even ILAN, Institute of Loss Adjusters. And so it's about also integrating that. Coincidentally, NICOM was also doing an industry strategic plan for the next 10 years. And so what we did immediately was key into that. So there were inputs, strategic plan from the NIA, strategic industry plan, and we work together seamlessly so that whatever it is we are doing is not at cross purposes with our outside community and sector. And I think this is what has made it such a lovely time to be working with this. It has been slow in getting to it because what it means is that we are building consensus even internally, because you don't talk about a 10-year strategy and agree with just this, your president. How about the members? And we were able to take that strategy plan to our last CEO's retreat at Uyo a few months ago. And it was, we circulated to all saw it. Some people raised a few questions about it, and everybody gave it a thumbs up. So we know that we are really home and dry with our members, but then we're still looking at industry. We're coming back now to be able to fine-tune that and then sign that off and then let it roll.
Okay, so would you say that everyone that will come after you, as well as your members, have keyed into the 10 years strategic plan of the country?
Well, to a reasonable extent. But, sometimes when people talk about consensus, and I hear it a lot in the industry, when people say, industry, you're not working together, you're not all speaking with the same voice. Please, God forbid, the day we are all speaking with the same voice. Because when we talk about it, think about it. We want individuals to bring in new ideas at various times. 15 years ago, look at the social media space, look at the information space, look at the space you are in. How was that in this country? If we now did a strategy that only envisaged what we had 15 years ago and said nothing else should come,
okay, so
what do you expect?
So that brings me to my next question. So is there room within the 10-year strategic plan for changes or amendment?
Oh yes, because you see what the strategic plan is a framework. It can only be detailed when you're talking about the 1-year plan, when you're talking about 1-2-year plan. Then you can have all sorts of details. After that, it's only God Almighty that can give a detailed plan for that and be even precise. So what happens is that after that it becomes a framework, and then people then come in. The things that don't change are the fundamental principles of probity, integrity, and concentration on the interest of members. Things like that are the things that don't change in the plan, and everybody then keys into it. And every time you want to bring a new change, new technology, the first question you ask is, is there integrity in this? Is it actually focused on interest of members? And that, so then the strategy is then, what is then holding that strategy in place. But other things are still the budget for the year, whether you're going to do a 500 million budget or 1 trillion budget in the next thing, or for the century. Well, you never know what can happen, but you can't hold people down to that. Those are questions of tactics and the like.
Okay, moving on, Mr. President, would you say that all your members currently, members of the NCRIB, are complying with ethical standards of the broking profession? I ask this because in time past, we've had issues of, not just in time past, even we still currently within the insurance industry, there are a whole lot of issues about unethical practices when it comes to the business of insurance. So would you say currently, under your leadership, all your members are complying and practicing professionally?
Obviously not. Definitely not. And that's why one of the things as a subgroup of my core thrust of office, which is empowering the Secretariat, was also to look at better discipline amongst our membership. And that's why we're beginning to have an active investigation and the disciplinary committees, and they're doing their work. Because the issue about it is that once you have professional practice and you have rules, what you then have is that you will always have, 1 or 2 which sometimes are exaggerated as if they are the higher percentage of the entire populace, that are doing things that are not quite right. But I think the problem we have more is the definition of what is ethical and what is not. And I've heard a lot of debates about, they say somebody say, unethical practices, and when they start counting, one of the major ones they count, I don't even think it's an unethical practice. Then you now find, so what's now? You now look at what the problem is. I hear these things, they talk about, brokers, the rate cutting. And I say that, what is rate cutting? Rate cutting is not an ethical issue. It is not, in fact, does it even, first of all...
Why do you say it's not?
First of all, the only places where you have rate cutting are where you have a statutory rate book, a statutory rate. If not, why don't you hear about rate cutting in tomato sellers? Why don't you hear rate cutting about car vendors? Why don't you have rate cutting about that? Everybody has different prices.
Okay, now let's use motor, the most common in the insurance industry. Would you say there's a standard practice or there's a standard rate for motor?
So that's the issue now.
Okay, so...
The answer is no. Let me tell you that, because that's the issue. You have to investigate it. You see, people, I think a lot of our members are coming from the old, decades ago, ages of tariffs. You don't have tariffs in the world again. If you have tariffs and you try to apply tariffs, you get jailed. Because what you then begin to have is what they call price fixing. And for price fixing, you will go to jail. If competitors, supposed competitors come together and start signing a document saying that we are going to, one of us is going to charge nothing less than this, you could go to jail in other parts of the world.
Okay, yes, that's in other parts of the world.
Even in Nigeria.
Okay.
Even in Nigeria. The day MTN, the day Airtel, the day Glo enter a room and say, we're not going to charge anything less than this, they will all lose their licenses.
Almond Production presents the biggest and baddest insurance party ever in Nigeria. Insurance Industry and Consumers Night 2018. Comedy and music shutdown. Comedy by AY, Akbararo, Sheila, Still Ringing, Kelvin Sapp, MC Shakara, MC Ayenana, and lots more. Music by Slim Case, and on the wheels of steel is the life of the party, DJ Kentucky. Your host, Ash Bebe and Mama Insurance, aka Faith of Life. Date is Friday, 16th November 2018. Venue Shell Hall, Musan Center. Time red carpet 5 p.m. Gate fee 5,000 naira regular, 10,000 naira VIP, and 300,000 for corporate table of 8. Tickets are available at 26 Kefi Street, Ikoyi, Lagos. For sponsorship details, table and tickets bookings, please call 0803-335-7879.
This event is supported by
Insurance Industry and Consumer Night, November 16, 2018. It will be a comprehensive party package. Don't miss it. Packaged by Pride Rock Entertainment.
All right, welcome back. Moving on now, we'll bring you highlights of the 2018 Agriculture and Agro-Allied Group Symposium of the LCCI, which took place recently at their Conference and Exhibition Center in Alausa, Ikeja. The financial services sector is critical to the funding and de-risking needs of the agro-allied business in Nigeria if we are to attain food security. Happy viewing.
The Agricultural and Allied Group of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, recently put together its 2018 Agriculture and Agro-Allied Symposium at the LCCI Conference and Exhibition Center, Alausa, Ikeja. The theme was Bridging the Funding Gap and De-risking Agricultural Finance. In his welcome address, Prince Tunji Falade, Chairman, Agri Group LCCI, said that today, agriculture is now 95% science and 5% work.
Those in the financial institution, they are already showing interest in agriculture. They just need to do risk analysis and take advantage of this. Today, the landscape is different. Agriculture is now 95% science and 5% work. Today we have hydroponic farming, we have aquatic farming, we have greenhouses, and so on and so forth. I know that IT in Ibadan cultivates maize from January till the end of the year, till December. They are no longer waiting for water or rain to plant, and are not waiting for the sun to dry. There's technology now, but we need funding for this technology to ensure that agriculture moves to the next level.
In his opening remarks, the president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Babatunde Paul Ruwashe, noted that government should remain focused on providing an enabling business environment.
Government should remain focused on providing an enabling business environment where private sector could thrive. Actually, government has no business in business, and they should allow the private sector. All we need is the right environment, and the private sector should take the driving seat. The development of good rail network to facilitate movement of agri products to market cannot be overemphasized. Policy consistency is also required to attract private sector investment into agricultural sector.
There is no doubt that the agricultural and agro-allied sector is bedeviled with a lot of challenges ranging from high cost, availability of credit, lack of statistical data, as well as poor infrastructure. Delivering the theme of the symposium, Mr. Babatunde Obrimati, who stood in for the managing director, Nasser, said that the way farming is structured today prevents funding to come to smallholder farmers.
When you look at it, the way farming is structured today prevents funding to come to the smallholder farmer. Because for the banks, the same process you use for 200,000 naira, the same process you use to get approval for 1 billion naira. So from an economic perspective, it's not profitable to try and do a 200,000 naira transaction. So the challenge is, how do we then fix that chain?
Also sharing his thoughts on the theme of the symposium, the representative of the managing director of Union Bank, Mr. Olawale Olanrewaju, said that from the commercial bank's perspective, the most dangerous thing for a banker to do is to lend money to people who don't understand their business.
To require agri-businesses that have proper understanding of the risk environment. The most dangerous thing for a banker to do is to lend money to somebody who does not understand his business. If you lend money to somebody who does not understand his business, it will be taking wrong risk, taking it in the right way. You know, it's possible to be successful doing something wrongly. You can be successful doing something wrongly and fast enough if you don't understand what you are doing.
Other speakers were Mr. Kunzai Kumuyi from FCMB and Mr. Kundayo Mobayo from the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation. Given the high-level deliberations, participants had questions for the speakers.
This MSC, this micro, small and medium enterprise loan, I know it's in association with commercial banks. What are you doing about it?
Agriculture and agro-allied sector holds the key to overcome unemployment challenges in Nigeria. Experts believe, however, that without intensified financial and technical assistance to players in the agri-business and agro-allied sector, sustainable farming and food security will be unattainable. All hands, therefore, must be on deck in the new drive for Nigeria to be self-reliant in food production, which will lead to social stability.
And that is our show this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. Now, the two biggest insurance events this year are going down tomorrow. Yes, you heard me right, tomorrow. First off, the 2018 Insurance Consumers Forum happening at Kano Hall, Necker House, Alausa, Ikeja. We're starting by 9:30 a.m. and admission is free. Then come 6 p.m. tomorrow, all roads lead to Shell Home Muson Center for the biggest and baddest insurance party ever. Comedians like AY, Akpororo, Shei Law, MC Shakara, Still Ringing, and many more will be on ground to crack your ribs. Also, Slim Case aka Saint Semiganja will be on fire, while DJ Kentucky, the party shutdown king, will be on the wheels of steel. Now, if you haven't gotten your tickets, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hurry now and call 0803-335-7879 or 0812-362-4081. Regular tickets cost 5,000 Naira, VIP tickets cost 10,000 Naira, while the corporate table of 8 costs 300,000 Naira. We're shutting down Lasgidi, so come tomorrow and have some fun. Once again, my name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. Thanks for joining us this week. Until next week, stay blessed. Bye-bye.